Well, hello, everyone. This is Tommy, World at War Comics. Thanks for joining the podcast today. We have another amazing guest. But before I get into that guest, you know what to do. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that ring bell. That way you get notified every time we're dropping another interview or other video. And man, we just would love to have you as part of our community. This podcast today is brought to you by Cien Chilies, the best hot sauce you will ever have in your life. Trust me. Go to cienchilies.com, cienchilies.com. Make sure that you purchase your jalapeno, your Thai bird, your habanero. They even have a mustard seed sauce that's absolutely amazing on deviled eggs and all that good stuff. And if you use comics at checkout, save 15% off your total order. Check them out today. Maria Covarrubias is the owner. She's the chef. Her and her husband, Felipe, have put this company together, and they are doing such an amazing job with such amazing products. So please go to cienchilies.com, at least check them out. And if you love hot sauce, I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Also, the podcast is also brought to you by Comic Crusaders. I am a writer for Comic Crusaders. If you love comic books and you want to read reviews of what other people think of those comic books before you actually purchase them, check out Comic Crusaders. They do comics, they do comic movies or other movies, they do music, all kinds of reviews. Best in the business, one of the fastest growing review sites, comiccrusaders.com. Check them out. All kinds of reviews. You can find me there too. All right, without further ado, today's guest is Christie Shinn. She is the writer and creator of Demon Bitch. You are going to love this interview. You're going to love Christie. And right now she has a Kickstarter. Just type in Demon Bitch. It'll pop up. Christie Shinn. I'm sorry. And if you go to her Kickstarter and you participate today, you are going to receive a very funny, a little bit dark, but extremely funny comic book called Demon Bitch. This time it is Demon Bitch, I Hate You All. This is her fifth one of Demon Bitch, and boy, does she have an amazing following. So check her out. Without further ado, this is Christie and I. Enjoy, everybody. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to World at War Comics. Today, my special guest, Miss Christie Shinn. Christie, thank you for joining. I cannot wait to talk about Demon Bitch with you. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. I'm pretty tired, but I think it's just the past elation of like funding and then getting a nice buffer today. So funding yesterday, and then a nice buffer today. And it just like, I think the heart attacks have like stopped, which I shouldn't joke about because I've known quite a few people that have had heart attacks already. I'm like, holy shit, what is this?
Well, let's not do that. But
no.
the stress of a Kickstarter is just crazy. I mean, if you haven't done it before, it's quite the ride. And I'm glad that you hit the finish line. And you've done actually pretty good. I was looking at your past Kickstarters, 5 in a row, I think, 6 in a row, something like that.
Yeah. And it's like,
you're kicking ass, Christie.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's like, I was kind of iffy about this Kickstarter this year, just because usually I like to get a beat on how economics is and just the general vibe. It was kind of up and down. So I just like, it seemed right at about this time. So I think that was good, but it's also kind of like hitting that vein of gold, I think, this time. And I did like, what helped me was I didn't try to listen to all the negative shit out there. I mean, okay, don't bury your head in the sand. Like, economic times are tough. People are a little harder with their money, but if you keep hearing it over and over again, like one of the biggest things was like, oh, it's the big titty books that are taking away our money and the corporate bubble. I'm like, okay, they've always been there. I get it. You know, you're frustrated, but it's like, you have to just focus on still putting it out there, and really be open to how it's going to be funded. And it's weird because I practice this thing, like, don't try to mess with the middle. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, don't plan your Kickstarter, just fuck around, don't do anything. But it's like, you can't be too wired on how. Like, all you can do is put it out there, get it done. And if somehow, like, if you focus on funding and somehow you get like certain things that pop up to help, definitely. Like, I have a boost, like one of my friends said, oh, I'm sorry, I've just been dealing with some stuff, but I'll help you now. It's like, it comes kind of at the right time. But it's hard sometimes. Like, there were times I was challenged personally about it. Like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should quit or something. And because I was just like working through the Kickstarter, even though overall performance wise, it has performed monetarily pretty good. And I don't mean by just amount, but just like I only had one dead day thus far. Not, it wasn't like, oh,
Yeah,
all
all over
that.
the
It was
place,
like,
right? Yeah,
yeah, like I did get money, I did get some drops, but it was like overall pretty minor
yeah.
for what it was. And the people that did gave, they gave a lot. So
Good.
I'm not upset about that. So so far it's like at least it's funded.
Oh,
I'm very close. I'm 200 at this time of recording away from the first stretch goal, which is at
nice.
6,800. The next one is at 7,400.
Sweet.
So we could still very well do number two. So
Good for you. Well, let's hope that you reach that and everybody gets those rewards. But congratulations. Like I said, I think this is 5 or 6 in a row for you. So obviously you've created an amazing fan base and they're following you with everything that you're doing with Demon Bitch. So congratulations. I mean, that's where you want to be, right? You want to create a brand that people love, and then they're just waiting for that next one to come out. And it seems like you've been able to create that environment.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been fun because it's like people like mess around, and I think it gives them license to mess around. Like it's like, well, don't talk this way on this Kickstarter because you know you might get banned or something. But I
Yeah,
thought it was funny, and just like sometimes after my updates, I was like, just be sure to like, share, and comment and shit up my fucking comment thread because it actually it's a lot of engagement.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like kind of like right, whatever, I don't give a shit. And it's like, well, like sometimes there was a time last year where Don Wynn
Oh,
and a few other people and I, we decided, oh, let's help each other's campaigns out. We just talk shit to each other on the comments, but it was all in good fun because it's like we let's talk shit. So we just say all sorts of fucked up shit on each other's like Kickstarters just because.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it was fun because it allowed people to play. Like I really wish that more Kickstarters would do it. It's like, well, this is about the thing. We're only
yeah.
going to talk about the thing and everything. It's like Demon Bitch is about life. Come on, it ain't about that thing. And
Exactly.
so like one guy said, like when he found out upon like funding he had pledged, he
Yeah.
said, well, I better go to my bank account and make sure I don't overdraft. And I said, you would do anything for her.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
I love it.
yeah, it's like making fun of the hoary chicks and these guys like doing just about anything for them. And I'm like, why? You know, it's like they're not even like I could get it if they were hot, but like some of these chicks that I've seen, it was like, honey, take a shower with bleach. Like, come on, you know. They look kind of nasty. It's like you kind of
Yeah.
are past your sell by date. I don't know what it is, but and they're not like the best in self-concept or anything. They're like the weirdest, most whiniest people ever, but it's like somehow that happens. But yeah,
Happen.
it's just making fun of that.
Yeah. Well, I love it. I love it. And I'm so happy for you too. I'm glad that you hit it. Maybe we could kind of talk about how you got into comics, Chrissy. When did the
Sure.
passion for comics start in your life?
Well, for me, I've always liked comics. As a
Yeah.
kid, I grew up obviously with let's see, with the Sunday paper, the strips. I
Yeah.
grew up with Garfield and all that, but I also grew up with Korean manhwa. And it's
Mhm.
so funny because I just like started talking about this later on in the campaign because I just remembered it. But I remember my parents would get the Korean newspaper and
Yeah.
they'd have the Sunday strips, but that shit was like mature, like it had nudity
Really?
and they didn't show actual sex, but you could tell like
Yeah.
nudity, sex, killing, blood, everything, just this
Oh.
crazy shit. And it was like, what is it? And it's just a strip, and I don't even know what that strip was called. I
That's,
have to dig it up, and if I recognize it, I'll try to find out the name. But it was
yeah.
insane. So there was just this. It was like this medieval Korean period, and it was just like show naked chicks and stuff like that. I'm like, what is all this shit? But it's like it got me into drawing. I think a lot of it it's just like drawing. So
Yeah.
primarily started off as an artist, and
Mhm.
then when I grew more into it, it was like I remember my parents taking me to Stanford because I
Mhm.
lived in the Bay Area. They're like, you probably want to go here, right? Don't you? Like kind of like putting in my head, you want to be an Ivy Leaguer. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But
Yeah.
so I would go there and I went straight to the books because I always liked reading. I loved reading. And I went straight to the underground comics, the college kids at the time who were technically adults. So I
Yeah.
went there and I started reading shit like Life in Hell and like just other underground shit. So I always like that underground aspect. I said, what is this? This is crazy. And
Yeah.
even though I didn't understand the subject matter, it was just funny. And my parents actually bought me Life in Hell.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, and then I got into anime and manga. Then Marvel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then my parents, like, they always thought it was good that I drew, but they were like, come on, do something more serious. Like, and then they kind of accepted it, but they thought I would be a fine artist or something. And now it's like this whole generation of Korean Americans, like you have Helen Jo,
Yeah.
David Cho. I mean, if you look at David Cho's shit, he's like a crazy fucker right there. And then like just a bunch of Bobby Lee, this comedian. So like you have this whole generation
Sure.
from us and Leela Lee, like
Yeah.
we're all this generation of just this crazy, crazy like fucking thing where we never like met our parents like demands or something, which is hilarious. And so
I love it.
that's yeah. And then I went into college and then I got really into underground comics, like Love and Rockets was my first thing, serious foray.
Oh,
And
wow.
then I got into like stuff like Johnny Ryan here. He's got one. I bought this recently.
Oh, cool. Porn basket.
Yeah, this is Gigi Allen. I didn't know who the fuck he was when he died in the 90s. When I look back, I'm like, oh man, like this guy was punk and he would say the worst shit ever. Like
Really?
he oh, he'd take his feces and throw it in the audience, and that was the least he could do. Like,
Oh
look
my.
him up. The guy was crazy. But he also
God.
did this other, but also he had a short stint as a pop artist, which was
Really?
actually okay. And then all of a sudden he just went completely off the rails into like this punk rock, but he was totally degenerate. Like
Yeah.
literally when he died, that was like his seventh or eighth fucking overdose of heroin and a combination of all drugs. And I'm just like, well, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
And they like had his funeral and you can find it on YouTube, like the thing of his funeral and it's all messed up and everything. It was just insane. Like this
Yeah.
guy had a following and Johnny Ryan's like one of the guys that like followed him and he
Really?
like draws him. It's like, and it's just about like Johnny Ryan is another favorite. He just draws this utterly degenerate shit. And it's just like this, like prison pit is just like a rapist, murderer, cannibal on a prison planet. And they're all rapist, murderer, cannibal when they just kill and destroy. It's just crazy. It's just like a lot of very angry monsters that are, like
Yeah.
what was that one in the Muscle back in the day? Like the Japanese, it's like Muscle but worse. It's like
Wow.
Muscle, but you perverted it to a horrible extent. So they're just like fighting and it's crazy as
Yeah.
shit. And I it's the best, one of the best comic series I bought. Another one that I like follow is Megan Mock. It's with two G's on each one.
Okay.
And that's about like a stoner witch and her cat, her black cat boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
And it's just this weird stream of consciousness. It's very strange. I mean, as I said, I'm not really into drugs. Like I have never taken hard drugs at
Yeah, yeah.
all. But
Yeah.
it's just, and I'm not a proponent of them. I think they're pretty fucked up. I don't like but it's just writing about this and it's just
Yeah.
funny. It's actually funny how this guy does Simon Hanselman. So I like weird shit like that. Like I've seen Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, Filler Bunny, and Bad Art Collection. I like always the demented stuff
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I think there were times in my life that were utterly way too serious and not good. So I just went, I'm gonna go for the demented shit. And I really like the demented shit. And it was funny because like in art, I did
Mhm.
the pretty shit. Like I've done this sepulcher right here. So I've done the pretty shit, right?
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna be selling sepulcher. I'm working on volume 2 and I can actually sit my ass down and draw it, but I've written it. But it's like this thing about like sepulcher. So it's like I've done the pretty shit, but then nobody really noticed.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, fuck this. I'll just do the shit that I'm not supposed to do. And then people noticed, and then they noticed the pretty shit. So it's like,
Exactly.
all right, cool.
See how
Like,
that works?
yeah, I even gotten like this. Like, I got a Ringo Award for participating in this Mind Plant
That's
Parenthood.
awesome.
Yeah, I did not write it, and Tool wrote the story, but I drew it. But we were
So,
involved in the Ringo Awards.
well,
So there you
congrats.
go.
That's awesome.
I'm a Ringo
That's a
Award
big,
winner. Huh?
that's a big deal. That's pretty awesome.
Well, it's funny. Here's the story behind that. I was so new to the industry because I was just powering through like the
Yeah.
first couple of years. Like I had put out 14 books,
Yeah.
and some of the books were not just mine. I had worked with a writer. So I put out a big plethora of work and I'd worked on other books like kids' books and stuff. I have another kids' book coming out called Underwater Girl in November. I
Oh.
have another one that I've worked on that I've done editing for in print.
Mhm.
So the writer is Maggie St. Thomas, and
Mhm.
she's really cool. So we're going to probably have a signing at Barnes and Noble on the 11th. So I'll put up more info once I get it. I was just having to hush it for a while because she was developing the other part of it, but she's the writer for both books and I edited it all. So I edited and drew it and wrote it all. Save for the other in print is more photos, so those are all hers, but just arranging it and everything. So it was good. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, so it's like I've worked on other people's stuff too. So I was really powering through it, and just somehow the first few years I didn't know what a Ringo Award was. And
Yeah.
so Molly Jackson, the editor of mine, called me and said, "Oh yeah, we won this." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then I'm like, what's that reward? So I'd like,
Is that? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so that was how I learned about the Ringo.
That's a pretty big deal. That's awesome.
I feel pretty good. Like at first it took me a while to kind of like talk about it. Not because I was ashamed. It's just I'm more of the person that says, okay, I won something, I did a thing, now I'm gonna move forward to the next one. But it's like they said, wow, you're a Ringo Award winner. Like that's really cool. You should actually say that. I'm like, maybe I should. So it's like
Actually, about that, Christy. That's a big deal.
yeah, so I kind of put that into my biography. Like, yeah, I did important things.
For sure.
I don't draw poo-poo cartoons and make fun of people. That's not all I do. So,
Yeah, but it
but
is a
I would
what you
go
do.
on. Huh? Sorry.
It is an awesome part of what you do, though.
Yeah, I mean, it would be funny if I won another big award for Demon Bitch, and that would be
Wouldn't
pretty
it? Wouldn't it be
hilarious.
awesome?
Like an Eisner for Demon Bitch, and it's ridiculously fucking stupid. And it's like,
Hey,
yeah,
you
I just
never
showed
know.
up.
You never know.
I that would be nice. I'll focus on that and see how it is. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just funny because it's like Eisner is like this highbrow thing, and then like this is just like totally fucked up lowbrow art. Although it is funny, when I did start Demon Bitch, I was just really in reality drawing a pissed off comic that was funny. Like
Yeah.
it made me laugh. But it's weird now how people are looking at that and
Yeah.
they're going, this is the most deepest shit ever. And they end up we end up like almost every interview that I've done, we've ended up talking about super deep fucking subjects
Really.
on
Yeah.
this. And I never understood why, but I was just like, well, there you go.
Must be something very relatable that people are enjoying, right? They could relate to it. You're saying something that is triggering something.
I
How many
think
issues do you have, Chrissy, now of Demon Bitch?
Demon Bitch, I think right now we're at issue 5. If what Pen 15 is basically formatted, so we're looking at 5.
Okay.
I'm actually thinking maybe, let's see, it's like Hellfire Damnation, She Sucks, Alcoholics Anonymous, he's triggered. So we're looking at this as the 5th graphic now. I'm double checking because the next one I just want to kickstart it, and it's this compilation, and it's like the utterly mediocre collection or something like that. I don't know. I'm thinking about that, well, along with a new book, because I just sort of want to do that.
Sure,
So
yeah, why not?
yeah. Yeah. So it's like make it into a hardcover, I think. Make the omnibus into a hardcover.
That would be
Okay.
actually pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like the utterly mediocre collection, and it sucks. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just like Demon Bitch allows me to play around and have fun. Like
Yeah.
be that kid, immature, stupid kid again, where you thought poo poo jokes were great. And then, but yeah, like I've had people come up to me and say to me, literally, it's like you killing the elephant in the room,
Yeah.
and you put it on a plate and you serve it to people. Another one is like, I have gotten angry in this way. I
Yeah.
have never, it's like this made me feel that this was okay to feel this way.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's
cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I feel bad because I haven't had a chance to read one yet, but I can't wait until I get your newest one on your Kickstarter. But I've heard since I've met you and learned of you, 5 days ago, maybe 4 days ago, I started
Yeah.
looking. I'm like, holy crap, she's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, maybe that's why I don't watch TV. We were talking about earlier. It's just, I'm too busy doing stuff. It's just like, that's my work. Like, that's what I
Yeah.
enjoy doing. And
Yeah.
sometimes people say, you need to take a break and not burn out. I'm like, what do you mean? I enjoy doing this shit. But it's like, I think I kind of get what they mean.
Yeah.
Ow. Don't spear my hand, cat. That's Spam, guys. He's kind of stupid.
Spam. What's up, Spam?
Now he's mad. Yeah, now he's looking mad at me like,
I
so
love it. I love it.
yeah, he's a ginger boy. He's my
Ginger.
little ramen noodle fuck, aren't you?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, as far as your comic Demon Bitch, you do it all though, right? So you're the artist, you're obviously the writer. Everything is taken care of by you. So
Yeah.
you're not working with any kind of partners on Demon Bitch.
No, I mean, I'll ask friends to like do it. Like Steven, he wrote the foreword since he's a
Okay.
parent to
Yeah.
Demon B Meets Mr. F Word. He's also written the foreword to other things like to Triggered. And it's hilarious because like if you contribute directly into my book, I give you a free copy.
That's
Now I owe him these, but it's funny because every time we go and do a lot of cons together, like we're at the same con, I'll
yeah.
say, "Hey, Steven, I need to give you your book." He said, "Oh, okay, give it to me later." And then he'll remind me, "You need to give me the book." It's like, you told me not to give it to you at the time, but to give it to you later. It's like, don't do this. Yeah. We screw with each other all the time. But then there's my friend Robert Kijawalski. He did
Uh-huh.
the forward to this book, Pen 15,
Okay.
on that. So, and my friend Rose, she wrote something about her mom on the back. You'll probably read that at some point.
I can't
Uh,
wait.
but yeah, it's just Pen 15. It's like making fun of that, like the penis meme, but like Pen is here, but you're just like, so there's that. So it's like I just see shit and I make fun of it. And
Yeah.
the thing is, I don't like to follow what's trending on Twitter because that's really stupid.
Yeah.
I really actually like following the people that follow on Twitter because it's amazing, like the shit that you see of people, what they do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the most amazing load of shit that I've ever saw was when the Comics Broke Me shit happened at the same time with the Titanic submersible and the Pakistani immigrants off the coast of Greece.
Right.
That was all really messed up events, but I was so shocked at how many people, and again, this is a big difference between people expressing concern, sadness, condolences to the family, to the person itself. I'm not saying they didn't deserve that, but
Right.
it was weird how everybody was saying, you need to pick one to say what's the worst. I'm like, why do I need to pick one, asshole? And then number two, it was like as I said, the comics broke me is a thing that you should talk about, definitely. But it was very interesting to me how people were going and they were literally trying to fuck this corpse of
Yeah.
this person for laughs or for attention. It was amazing to me how they went on their soapbox and did it. This is not people telling stories in relation. This is like, or like other publishers that said, yeah, well, the big companies are pieces of shit. And then when other people dug in, I didn't, but when other people dug into them, they found out they did worse
Oh
to
wow.
their own constituents. And I'm just like, wow. I said, I'm not giving the other guys pass, but you guys are terrible, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, when you get into like Demon Bitch and you start your issue 6, what are some of the things that kind of influence you as you start to, write your story? Like, how do you decide what the topic's going to be for each of your books?
Well, I think it always starts with something that always visibly very much annoys me about people. It's not like a minor annoyance. Like I've even had a friend tell me that some of their friends were concerned. They're saying, well, you're friends with her. Aren't you? Are you going to be like aware that she's going to be like, talking shit about you? You're going to be in her book? She says, no, because I know about the types of people that are in her book. They're really very generally very horrible people. You'd have to be a real asshole to her for her to even want to do that to you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Good point. Good point.
yeah.
Good point. Yeah. That's so cool. Now, as far as your ability to be a writer and an artist, do you have one that you enjoy more than the other? Do you like the art side more than the writing or the writing more than the art?
That's kind of hard for me to
Yeah.
say. I like writing. I think it's like in a way I've always liked writing because I did screw with it when I was younger.
Yeah.
But now it's becoming more of a thing. So I kind of just like doing my own things.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like I don't like writing. Like I've collaborated with my friend Lawrence Hubbard, Raw
Hmm.
Dog Hubbard of Real Deal Comics. Like he has these characters. And I sat here and said, oh, we need to do this fucking thing and that fucking thing. Cause like there's this one where like I'll watch like current events and it's kind of
Yeah.
fucked up, but it's a fucked up book. So there you go.
Right.
But like there was one of like GC's like gangster cool. They live in kind of like the ghetto in LA and they do
Yeah.
all sorts of shit like mayhem, murder, and angel dust
Oh,
just to be, oh, this is the other one.
there's your black cat you were talking about.
Yeah,
What's her
she has
name?
a big ink. She's got a
Ink.
big ass. Now she's mad. But anyway, so what ended up happening is that so there was one where his mom dies
Uh-huh.
and it turns and how that happened. I can't talk to you about most of the stories because he's drawing them. But
Yeah.
one of the ones is that it was influenced by seeing seeing like fucked up funeral homes in the South, you know, where they had the bodies stacked up or they just threw them in the forest because they just took the money and didn't really bother with the proper burial. And it was this whole, like, I think it was like a few of them, like there was one in Georgia and there was another one somewhere else, and they were just really awful. So I started laughing. So
Yeah.
I started going like, oh man. And then one of my friends like sent a picture of this like, okay, so they told me they were attending a friend's mother's funeral.
Uh-huh.
I have the weirdest people. I don't know. But so they send me this picture of them in the casket, the mother. And I mean, I've seen all sorts of shit in the 90s, like ogreish and all those. So I look at that and I said, I messaged them and I said, I'm not insulted or upset, but why the fuck did you send me this? Because I'm
So
just this person, like, I don't see why you would want to take a fucking picture at a funeral, but some people do. He said, no, 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 no. And it showed his friend taking a picture of his like literally like this. And I'm like, okay. And then I thought about the fucked up funeral homes. And then I told my friend, oh, dude, we should do this story. And then I told him the story and we were laughing about it. And then I said, oh, you need to do one with Lovecraft.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's one with a dubious name. And at first, my friend is black. Lawrence is black. So I was like going, and I told him the name of the creature. And he's like, what? And I said, no, no, it's not racist. And then I found out, like, we both like then looked it up later and found out Lovecraft was like really racist even for his day. Like he had a black cat named Man. So we can guess what the first word was.
Exactly,
So we
yeah.
were kind of laughing about it. Said, okay, we got to do one on this. And so I think he's doing that one. He's doing this one. So he's trying to release a new graphic novel. So those are the two. And then there's one where I guess like in New York, like they had that big brouhaha with like they were arresting a guy wanted for murder, and this girl like started punching a cop, and I'm like going, yeah, that's gonna end well. And he was a big black dude, and he just bald head too, and he like
Yeah.
looked like he gave no fucks, and he fucking decked her like after she hit him a few times. And they're like, what's your problem? I said, I don't know. Don't hit a guy with a gun, and tactical knowledge. That's probably a better thing.
Probably
So we
smart.
were kind of laughing about that part too. And we were just like, okay, we got to write about that. So one of the characters and all that. And it's about that scene and everything. And no, I don't laugh at other forms of injustice. I want to say, you sick bastards, but I do laugh because people are just going like,
Yeah.
the fuck did you expect? Like a lot of these situations are like, what the fuck did you expect in doing that? So that's
Yeah.
probably going to come out. So I've been collaborating with other people too.
That's awesome. So you like when you get these kind of stories, is that some of the motivation that goes into Demon Bitch?
Well, I think fucked up stories do, like
Yeah.
just how people act, like with that whole trifecta of the Titanic and all that stuff. The
Yeah.
what I was going to say is that, and I just realized we kind of like went everywhere, but
I love it. I love it. It's all good. It's all good.
yeah, like what I realized was is that like so I drew two cartoons,
Uh-huh.
and it was Shipward and Demon Bitch like looking like doing selfies
Uh-huh.
with a guy in the coffin going like, I'm so glad he's dead. And they're posting it. And there's another one where they crawl up on the body and they're doing King of the Hill in the body, like, bitch, get off, it's my turn.
Oh my gosh, Christy. I cannot wait to read this stuff,
Oh, it's
man.
bad. It's bad. A lot of it's bad. Like they can follow it on Webtoon, but
It's
what makes it better for the graphic novel is
right.
that for the graphic novel, it's like, oh, it's, they have extra shit in it. Like I have artwork that's signed that can be signed from it's prints too. It's available. They're available as prints, but they're by Mog Park, Lawrence Hubbard,
Yeah.
Zoralita. She's done My Little Pony. She's one of the official artists for My Little Pony. Like
Oh,
there's Hyde Hermit, and then there's Philip Jin, there's Kenny Aitken. It's like all these other guys. So yeah.
I've had Kenny on the show. He's a pretty funny guy too.
Yeah, Kenny's funny. He's this big
Okay.
bearded mountain man. And I think there was
Yeah,
another
yeah,
guy.
no.
Yeah, there's another guy we interviewed. It's like, oh, you kind of have a beard like Kenny's. Like compare the two. Like
Yeah, yeah.
stand side by side. They say, oh, I know Kenny too.
Yeah, yeah. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, Christy. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
You said you have Demon Bitch and you've written some other stuff that's a little bit more serious. Do you try to have a balance between the two? Because you also do children books too, right?
I just kind of follow in the flow. I mean, to be honest, it's like I just do what I do. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, let's do a kid's book. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let's do a graphic novel. That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let's go do this. This sounds cool. Like I don't know. I don't really have like this big sort of explanation for it, but it's weird because
Yeah.
then it comes into these really deep conversations, which I don't know how that happened, but it does. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just like, all right, I guess we'll just try this. Oh, I guess we'll just try that. You know, it's not like I'm really tripping on whatever it is. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you get a lot done though with that process.
I do. Like, I think I'm just kind of okay with myself just working at my own pace.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
not that I can't meet a deadline. I mean, I know that could be a secondary question. Oh, like you need to meet deadline. It's like, well, I know how my work process is. I'll give you a realistic scope of what I work. And then usually I get it done quicker than what people expect.
right,
Because
yeah,
I'll like say, oh, it'll take about 2 weeks to do this.
yeah.
And usually I'm waiting on the other person. Because like I had a cover and the guy put up half up for me. And
Yeah.
I said, okay. And then he said, I'll put up half up later. You know, you can take this amount of time. And it was just like I was done with it within a week. So it
Oh,
was like, okay. You know, it's like, but I wasn't bitchy. I was like, okay, you said you needed this time. That's cool. I'll just release it to you when it's done. But I showed it to him and he loved it.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm not, unhappy about that. I think that's great. You know, it's like, I think if people were more comfortable with themselves and their own processes, they could have better deadlines for themselves.
yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
think people think, oh, well, if you have that, you're going to go and stretch it out for months. It's like, it stretches out for months anyway. You might as well like know how you work
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's it.
yeah. How many issues of Demon Bitch is it like a goal, or you're just gonna keep doing it as long as it's fun to do?
I keep doing it as long as it's fun to do. I mean, it's just, you know, it's kind of like Gary Larson. He'll do it until he wants to stop and he stopped for a while. And then I think he's bringing it back.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like, okay, I don't know. I think he got out of retirement though.
Yeah,
Yeah, like everybody else tried to imitate him,
yeah.
but I think the only person closest that I think is the best is Lonnie Millsap. He does like the New Yorker cartoons, but he
Okay.
does his own called Bacon.
Oh,
It's
really?
bacon, but with an umlaut, but Bacon. And it's like the spiritual successor to that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. So what else do you have going on, Miss Christie? You have Demon Bitch with the Kickstarter, which you've already hit your goal. You had mentioned that you have another one coming up.
I have another one. I mean, right now it's just Sepulchre right now, but that's when I sit down and take a look at it. I'm taking a bit of a break kind of from creating at the moment, other than the Demon Bitch stuff that I have to do. But
Yeah,
other than that, it's like not really anything else.
yeah, yeah. And then how many shows like Comic Cons do you try to do throughout the year? I know you and I were talking, we'll be at ValorCon together. I think I mentioned Whittier, so it'd be cool for you to be there as well. Because a
Awesome.
lot of our mutual friends will all be there. But do you have like a calendar that you try to do every single year, the same cons, or?
There's some cons that I continuously do, like San Diego. There's
Yeah,
Los Angeles Comic Con, Comic Con Revolution.
yeah.
I do a lot of other ones, but yeah, you know, I mean, hold on, grass knocked it off, whatever. So with her, I mean, with that, it's like I try to do as many as possible to get the word out.
Yeah,
So it's kind of fun to do, and I like talking to people
yeah, yeah.
personally.
That's kind of cool. Very cool. Well, Chrissy, I mean, I can't wait to read your Demon Bitch Kickstarter. I'm so excited. I wish I would have known about all your creations before, because then I would have had like this background to understand what I'm about to get into. But I'm glad we had a conversation,
Oh
because
yeah.
you've made it sound like I've been missing something for a long time, and I can't wait to dig into to laugh. I love laughing and I love comedy, and I feel like your dark humor fits all of my needs that I'm missing right now.
Yeah, like for me, I'm kind of going like, you know, like look at this. Like, I mean, also like if people want to pick up other books of mine, it is
Yeah.
available as a reward in the Kickstarter. Like you can actually put them on as add-ons. There is
Right.
actually a reward tier where I have everything.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's like everything I've ever done, written and drawn. I don't have the ones from the other people that work just because it might be kind of an issue or not problematic, but it's like, you know, getting it from them. And I would rather get the stuff from myself and my own personal library and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, outside of the Kickstarter, if somebody wanted to get your work, how would they get it? Do they just have to wait for like a con, or do you have like a website where people could go to purchase?
Well, I have an online, oh, excuse me. I have
Yeah.
an online store at
Oh, cool.
horatorystudios.com, and it's also my link tree.
Nice.
So if you see the store for prints and books and stuff, that's where you can buy it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Because I encourage everybody to go to that link tree and check it out. Obviously, go to the Kickstarter, because that's the best place to get it right now. And we have 9 more days. So it'd
Right.
be awesome for you surpass all those other goals so that we get these stretch rewards, which would be a lot of fun. So yeah,
Yeah.
make you do that today.
Well, it's kind of crazy because like I'm looking at all the things right now and it's like there's a lot of people that sign on, but usually there's like a quarter, like a 25% or more like conversion rate sometimes for people. So, but I think they're kind of waiting until kind of when it gets closer so
Yeah.
they can just go and buy it all the shit if they want to. I think
Yeah.
they're just deciding right now or whatever. I mean, some people just pledge to pledge, so that's always nice.
That's always nice. That's always nice. Is there a way that you're able, this is probably more of a question just to understand Kickstarter, but are you able to tell like what percent are new people purchasing for the first time as opposed to people who are just big fans of yours and always do your Kickstarter?
I don't think so. Some of them, I think you can kind of tell on some things, like it might be a new aggregation or something, but
Sure.
other than that, it should be fine.
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
than that, I'm not really sure at this point.
Yeah, I think that would be a really cool function if it was easily seen like this person has never purchased before anything that you've ever created, to see how many new people come in and purchase your book.
Yeah.
That would be kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm looking at that and it's like, yeah, that's pretty much what I've seen right here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty happy about it. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I I'm not, it's not it's just totally awesome how it's happening. It's just like it's funny how things fall into place. That's all I
Yeah.
gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, you should be pretty proud of yourself to be able to have, 4, 5, 6 Kickstarters in a row where you start to have fans that are like waiting for your next item to come out and they're ready to back. I mean, that's the dream for any creator and you're living it. So Chrissy, you should be pretty happy with yourself. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because it's like sometimes I get so wrapped up in my work.
Yeah.
I kind of am like, oh, I'm not really aware of how much it is, but it's kind of one of those things like it's kind of like sometimes I ask my friends like, how big is this getting? And he's like,
Yeah.
and it's not because like I'm looking for approval. It's just like
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the nexus of it, making a bunch of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I not sure, and it just turns out to be this thing, and it's awesome. Okay,
It's
cool.
super awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Chrissy, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you joining me today. I loved meeting you. I can't wait to see you this Saturday, so we could
Sure.
have more conversations. Hopefully, our booths are fairly close, but I'll be able to see all of your work there too, which will be awesome. I'm sure are you bringing all of your demon bitch? Are you bringing like a little bit of everything? What do you plan on having there this week?
I'm bringing everything pretty much. I did sell out at a con, so I haven't had like time yet to go and replenish that one. But it's Demon Bitch She Sucks that I won't have, so I have
Okay.
to reorder it, but it won't come in time.
Yeah.
But with the other stuff, yeah,
Nice. I can't wait to see all of it and check it out. And yeah, I'm a physical guy, so I gotta have a physical copy.
yeah, and you're welcome to like read all the books. I'll probably come earlier on ValorCon, so you'll have a chance to take a look at them if you'd
Take a
like.
Sure, yeah, yeah. No, I can't wait to see. But Christy, thank you so much for joining. Anybody that's listening, 9 more days left on the Kickstarter. If you want to laugh, if you want to read some pretty cool content that is probably going to shock you and make you laugh at the same time, it sounds like, definitely Demon Bitch is the right book for you. And you got 9 more days to purchase it. So please go to the Kickstarter. What I'll do, Christy, is I'll make sure the link is on the YouTube, the Spotify, the Apple, and then we'll blast it out to all of the social media, and hopefully get some more people to take a look at it. That'd be fun.
I appreciate it, Tom. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. No, thank you. I love the indie comic scene, and I think if you win, we all win. So let's make sure that we're supporting Christy and her Kickstarter, and let's ensure that we're building upon that foundation for the next 9 days.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, you bet, Chris.
I'm kind of excited to see where this will go.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome. All right, Christy. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you Saturday.
Thank you. You too.
All right.